Good morning, crypto enthusiasts, Liquidity Citadel. Hopefully you guys are surviving. Drowning. I'm drowning, especially on spot bags, but just full transparency. Market is very red, very red, all across the board. Stocks, cryptos, commodities, everything's red right now. Now, that being said, these are opportunities for fear, when fear is entering into the chat, if you will. Have we reached max pain levels? That's something that we're going to unravel today in today's stream. We're going to talk about BTC. We're going to, of course, dive into ETH. And we're also going to be looking at USDT, what's going on with stablecoins right now, seeing if there's any reprieve of rotation out of stablecoins into BTC and even alts. That being said, welcome. Hopefully you guys are having a profitable week, especially if you're short. So let's dive into the chart. Let's take a look at what we got going on here. I'm going to start off here with the daily and just kind of take a zoomed out perspective of this. We'll take the count off here for a second. And I'm really just focused on this black line right over here. As a matter of fact, you can actually look at it from a non-logarithmic perspective. If you kind of zoom out, I'm utilizing index here so we can get the most data off of this. This trend line essentially is, it needs to hold, right? At the end of the day, it needs to hold. Are there lower targets? Yeah, there's a fair value gap that sits right over here that's been tapped into. This was back in 2023, guys. Right? It was tapped into 2023, wasn't completely filled. Is there room for price action to go back down to those levels? Yes, I do believe that there are. But when we look at liquidity maps are showing us from a liquidation map perspective. Let's go into liquidation maps real quick. And actually, I'll put that inside the screen here in a second. Just give me a moment. Let me upload that for us. Let's look at ETH on Binance. And let's just go over a 7-day period. The problem that we're running into in the market right now, one of the reasons why we continuously keep dropping is because every time we have a drop, you know, you get 100x leveragers, 50x leveragers, and I'm not immune to that. I run like a 65x on my own side. But the issue that we're running into is that everyone's just aping into these longs, and that's just an easy target for short sellers to push price to in the sense of liquidity. In the grand scheme of things, this is based off of a 7-day viewpoint. As far as liquidity, there's much more to the upside, much more to the upside. Now, mind you, this is BTC. I'll share with you ETH here in a second. Actually, I'll do that right now for us, and we'll look at ETH. ETH, surprisingly, over a 7-day period, has actually collected majority of the liquidity to the downside. And we can see it here, right? Most people are aping into BTC right now. Not many people are touching ETH. I don't blame them. I definitely don't blame them. But just looking at how I run my setups, right? I look for structure, looking for liquidity, obviously invalidations, and then execution. Hyper focus on the liquidity aspect of it. You know, we've collected majority of the liquidity already to the downside. So theoretically, we should be going higher. You know, and it doesn't have to be 2,800, 2,900, what have you, even though those are healthy targets in my personal opinion. But starting to collect some of that liquidity to the upside makes more sense, makes more logical sense to me. So for today, I'm looking for A+ setups. I need to start seeing some signs of weakness developing. This line right over here it's had a lot of attention, for lack of better terminology, right? Like just going into 2022, obviously we couldn't break it, became resistance. We had some consolidation, small little dip, then we had a bounce, more consolidation. And you can see where we started to consolidate inside of this area, inside this zone, right? That pushed us to a high, not an all-time high, but it pushed us to a high. Then we had something very similar in 2025 where we consolidated inside of this area. We had a couple dips below, but let's go ahead and zoom in on that. Right, we can see where the intent was. So if I draw a horizontal line from here, that puts us at like 1579. So anything that's below that becomes a liquidity. This was the intent that drove us to an all-time high. So retesting that intent area, we've never retested it. And that's really what we're looking at right now. We're looking at that retest of that area of this zone. So my perspective is I'm looking for longs inside of this area, you know, from 1600 down to 1569. If you guys are following me on the site, the Liquidity Citadel site, we actually posted a pre-market analysis first thing this morning. You can actually see some of those targets. So if you were able to get into a short entry, these were the targets for you. And if you're already inside Discord, you already know where the site is. But for anyone that's new here, it's the liquiditycitadel.trade. And you can find pre-market analysis every single morning with a full breakdown on multi timeframes from 5-minute, 15-minute, daily, even up to a 2-week, as far as a full breakdown in there. You'll get a short summary. You'll see what the setup is that I'm looking at for the day, or at least in that moment, if that makes sense. And then you'll also see where there's going to be some invalidation in the event that that setup is invalidated, what you're looking for invalidation. So going back to this idea, you know, we have TP5 that sits right around 1560. Right now we're sitting at TP4. And this essentially, this is this morning, right? 1685 to 1700. You know, you could have shorted that area 1692, and then now you're sitting in profits. So just a little fun fact for you guys in the event that you're looking for setups, you don't know where to look, you have that on the site, and it's regularly updated every single morning with pre-market analysis. There's a little bit more of a deeper dive inside of our community for those that are inside this stream right now, that are inside of the VIP channel and section. You guys know that there's a little bit more in-depth breakdown as far as for intraday and swing setups. And that's really what I'm looking at right now. I'm looking for swing setups going into the remainder of the year. This bear market move, I anticipated the drop. Don't get me wrong. I fully anticipated there was going to be a drop. From my perspective, in the way that I was charting, the way that I was running my analysis, I was anticipating a little bit higher first before we came down to these levels. I was anticipating somewhere around 2500, 2600, collect that liquidity, close the CME gap, and then we have the big massive flush. Being wrong is obviously part of the game. It comes with the territory. Excuse me. However, I do want to give a silver lining behind that. The market is coming down faster, which means the bear market is coming to a close sooner than later. I was anticipating going into August, September, October, seeing some of these flushes, but the fact that we're inside the month of June and it's happening now, that kind of opens up the door for when the bull run is going to begin. I believe it will begin inside of 2026, right? More so towards the end of the year, and then obviously 2027 is going to be a full-on bull run for that entire year. ETH overall, if we look at it from a macro perspective, and we're looking at here on weekly, we can see that we're inside of this ascending wedge, right? Ascending triangle, and we've been in this compression for let's just go for since 2023. 2023 we've been inside of this compression, because 2023 we touched 1378, then we went to 2025, 2 years later, back to 1378, and here we are again sitting inside of those same realms. Now I will look at this and say, okay, well, there was some intent that was here inside this area, and very similar to what I showed you earlier on the other chart, right? That sits at 1586 inside that area. So there was intent here. There was a strong demand inside of the zone. And how do I know that? How can I tell that? It's because obviously that took us to an all-time high. there was a good amount of demand that sat inside that area. And if we just look left, we can see we've bounced in these areas. It took us to a high, bounced in this area, small little pump, dead cat bounce, but came back and retested it. And then here we are with a high, came back to this level, all-time high. Now essentially we are retesting it. So this is a very pivotal area, 1586, 1600s, what have you. These, in my opinion, are areas where you want to start loading into your spot bags. I was a little bit of a bunny, right? I jumped ahead and started doing my spot bags roughly around like the 1740 area, right? I was looking for double bottom, so I started doing some spot bags inside of that zone. So right now I'm not floating. This is me drowning, right? I'm doing a little bit of drowning, but like I said, it comes with the territory, it comes with everything. Other than that, let's hop into chat real quick. Good morning, boy. How you doing, brother? What's up, villain? How you doing, brother? I saw your message in regards to VIP. I will take a look at that later on today. Probably towards the end of the stream, I'll look at the VIP form. I don't know if it's LBank or if you're on Bitunix, but I will take a look at that and go ahead and get you into the VIP section so you can benefit from some of those calls and some of those breakdowns that are in there. As you guys know, if you have any questions for me, feel free to ask. Let's go over to BTC. Hey, look, our little friend is still here. He's still here. This is Mr. P Brain. Mr. P Brain is here. Now I'm going to look at this. I mean, we can go to 1362. We can even go to a daily. It's, same difference, if you will. Right, we have a pretty big exhaustion candle that derived right over here. And now we just kind of filled in the majority of that wick. We are inside of double bottom territory. We are. Is there room to go lower? Yes. We have a 53,931 all the way down to 47,984 from a fib level perspective. So we can bounce somewhere in between that. So between 53 to 47, if the drop continues at this pace, that's a target that I would be looking at for BTC. And what does that mean for ETH? And that's probably going to put ETH somewhere around 1200s, 1100s. But notice, I mean, for what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we're on 5 days of drops, no bounces in 5 days. And you can even take it a step further, because this little, I don't even know what you want to call this. I mean, it is a wave 4. It's a very, very small wave 4, but technically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 days straight. Here we are, the 5th of the month, and we're now sitting on 68.24, and the low was 61.32, so roughly around 700 pips away from double bottom in that area. That's why I would constitute saying, we're reaching double bottom areas, and I think there's going to be a lot of traders out there that are going to want to try to long that area for a double bottom. Double bottom is a sign of a reversal in the market. We can get the flip side of that, where that's like the most obvious area where people are going to long, and you see money man, if you will, step into the market and actually short what would be a support area, and you see a flush to the downside, right? Just flushing out the remainder of those longs, getting us into these zones. So one thing I'm going to be focusing on is going to be USDT. USDT is on another level right now. This is a 4-hour setup right now. I have some targets that reach like 9.303. The wave 4 that I had at 0.32, anticipating for it to come down a little bit lower because it was inside of a complex wave. Clearly that's not the case. It's going to go, that was the wave 4. Now we're reaching those Hold on, guys. I'm going to go ahead and trigger a long here real quick because I reached some levels that I like. All right, so we just flushed into 1587 just inside this little pocket right over here. USDT, if USDT continues its stretch, because if it's inside of a wave 5, which I believe it actually just double topped. Let's take a look at that. You got a 13 on the lead up phase, but you are pushing a 4 on the setup phase. Let me mark that off for us real quick. Well, that's not gonna work for me. Let's just do it like this. Oh, I pushed above. It just a smidge above. So technically we are inside of wave 5 territories. We're inside of wave 5 territories. Right, wave 5 can either have truncation where it falls short of wave 3. It can be a double top where it's, technically that's kind of where we are right now. Went a little hair above that zone, but I would still constitute that as a double top in that area. Or it's going to go into extensions. Extensions are going to be the 9.303 area. And 9.303 area, let's go ahead and go to a daily so we can get a little bit more data on that. Right, that puts us near the all-time highs of when we had our bear markets in 2022 and actually all of 2022. So USDT reached all-time highs during that time frame. Your best case scenario, if you're bullish, you kind of want to see USDT fall flat here, right? You want to see it fall flat in the sense of wave 5 is done as a full completion. That was an entire wave, and we can look at this right now and see this entire vertical run up, a VRU. That's a wave, right? Anytime you have vertical run downs or vertical run ups, those are your waves. So if you're trying to analyze them, like, well, where is the wave? You're literally inside of a wave right now for USDT, wave 5. And it is risky trying to catch some of these longs in this area. So invalidation would be obviously if we sweep the 9.036 area, right, and push into 9.303. Invalidation on ETH longs would come to fruition. But if we are starting to hit, what I would constitute as double bottoms, or at least retesting of this area, that's kind of where we're at right now. All right, let's just go ahead and move this over. We'll drop this down a little bit. Let's just bring it to this zone right here, and let's just bring this up right over in here. So let's zoom in on that. What occurred here? Obviously we had a drop down, then we had some chop, didn't make a new low, and then the intent was right inside the zone. So it is a very thin layer of demand, but nevertheless it is a demand area, and we're retesting that. It took us literally a year and a month, in 2 months, it took us 14 months to come back and retest this after setting an all-time high. So I'm giving you all that data, giving you all those pieces in the event that you're looking for longs and you're like, well, I'm trying to make sense of this. Is this an area that I should be looking to longs? From a spot bag perspective, I think so. Yes, I do. As I've already disclosed that, I was a little bit of a bunny and jumped ahead. From a leverage perspective, it is risky. It is very risky, especially if you're running high leverage. But you have opportunities all the way down to like 1560, maybe flushing 1579 and getting into 1560. Let's see where 1560 is. Actually, let's just do it this way. And we'll just mark it like this. We'll just go 1560. See, right in here. Right in here. So I feel like these are going to be some good areas to start looking for longs. And let's just go over to this view over here. Let's stretch this out a little bit, just like that. And see, we broke down underneath it. We have. right? If I'm going to go from body to wick, wick to body, same principle. Sure, we've broken this trend line. Absolutely, we have. I'm not disputing that. But we've seen that before. I'm gonna go to logarithmic. Let's open this up, and I'm gonna put on a different setup for us. Go over to weekly. All right, we just broke out of this ascending triangle, if you will. But this is how you trade it. This is what you're looking for. So maybe wick to body, wick to body. That's what I'm looking at. I mean, it gets real scary if it decides to flush down into here. And that's where I was saying then USDT is going and surpassing all-time highs. It's surpassing all-time highs if it decides to do that. What up, Stefano? What's going on, brother? I mean, if that 1600 level breaks, you know, we got 1600 down to like 1560. That's kind of what I'm looking at right now. I'm doing some limits here myself. I have a limit that just triggered now at 1590. So for me, it's more of like DCAing into this position. Don't want to go, you know, super heavy on one move because obviously, you know, it's pushing down. And let's look at some other indicators here. Let's go over here. Yeah, that's ridiculous. Look at that. That's on a daily. Look at your ADX. Last time we streamed, we were sitting right around this 60 level. We had a small curve down, and then we had a nice pull up over here. Look at your DI positive. I believe I mentioned this in our previous streams, but you know, we'll kind of go into it now. More DCAs for me. Hang on real quick, guys. More DCAs for me. There you go. Average right now 1584. So DI positive, you know, anytime he gets into this territory, and it can be DI positive, DI negative, or even the ADX. The point being is, like, from a strength perspective, you know, there's going to be a big move. It's going to snap, contingent on whichever side is most dominant. That's going to be leading the dominant. So when ADX reached this level, DI negative was running the dominance, and that's why you had a big flush, because you had strength building inside that area. Now let's go over to the DI positive and negatives. Anytime it gets into this territory, right? Very similar. Let's use this as an example. Right, this was in February. It was February of this year. February of this year, DI positive went to these bottom lines right over here, and I would consider that, like, when I have my DI positive inside the zone, if you're gonna make a comparison, it's comparison to like a like an RSI, right? You're getting into oversold territories when your DI positive is sitting inside of these zones. And so now we're sitting inside of these zones with the ADX reaching peak highs. Look at these peaks, right? These are peak levels. You know, strong trend is a 60. A very strong trend is once we get into, you know, above 60 all the way up to 80s. So this is obviously, this is a lagging indicator, but it's just to show you the trend in the direction of the market right now. Right now, bears have obviously complete strength in the market. They haven't given up that strength just yet. But when this bad boy decides to start doing this, when it does that, you're going to see a pump in ETH. That doesn't necessarily indicate that hey, we bottomed out, we're done, because ADX can do something like this, right? It can come down and then do one of these and then continuously go back down. So when it does one of these, it's a loss of strength. It's going to have another quick, I would call a flash flush, if you will, and then continue its way back down. So just a quick little heads up on DMI. From a volume profile perspective, we are reaching, this is inaccurate, I can get rid of this, don't need that anymore. It's still going to be fuel, but the dates are wrong. We are reaching a volume area low, right? And this is measured from our high to our low. To our low right over here. High to our low. You can see the profile. So we're literally tapping into that level right now. I'm average right now at roughly around 1584 on a leveraged position. Looking for 1560s to hold. So let's come over to here. Let's see where we're at. Let's look at that little zone. Let's zoom into that. All right, see, now we just touched the very bottom of that, right? This area right over here, where that intent was. We just touched the bottom of that. So we're inside of a demand area. This is what's why I'm looking for longs. This is why I'm longing this area in this territory. And I don't know if you guys can hear it or not, but that's the chiming that you hear in the background. Those are ads for my positions. Mainly what I'm going to be doing here, I have another screen in front of me, another chart in front of me, but I'm looking at like 1 minute, and then I can come over to SMD. All right, it's the sweeps. I see a sweep, I'll add. 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 The deeper we go, the higher we're going to go at the end of the day. Invalidation for me, some of you guys may be wondering, like, okay, well, what does invalidation look like for you? It's sweeping this. So invalidation doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to be holding on to a position all the way down to that area. I may burn a position and then have a re-entry at a lower target, but if I sweep this area, like say I sweep 1384, then it invalidates it. Then that opens the door for these areas down here, these zones. Actually, I think I threw that on here earlier, but we can throw it on again. Maybe it was weekly. I think it was maybe weekly. Yeah, see, there's this fair value gap that sits right over here, the bottom of that 1303. So if it sweeps that, you got a big old fat one that sits right at 867, sub 1000. This was the setup from last night. If you guys are following me on X, you guys saw what I was looking at. If you're inside VIP, this is why I had posted it first. I was saying, well, this looks like a descending triangle, right? And you can see the full measure move actually played out. You go from the peak to the valley. Where's your breakout? There's your breakout. So that was the full measured move because it's a continuation pattern. Boom. And now I'm looking to enter on sweeps. I got my first sweep. Now on a 30-minute, I have a 9 that's printing here. Let's look at coloration real quick. Let's look at heat map. I mean, that's a pretty intense cooldown. We don't have green dots that are printing, but this is a 30-minute, so I give that little favor. But right now, I'm long on LBank at 1579 with my ads. And you could always wait. Don't get me wrong. You could always wait and say, okay, well, I don't want to catch a falling knife. I want to wait for confirmation. Confirmation would look like coming back into this area over here, moving to the side, moving up, and then bouncing like wherever this line decides to go, right? Like if you continue drawing it out, if price comes back to it and reclaims this zone, that's the important area, then you look for your longs, and then you're looking to long 1967 inside those areas. But I think that was a wave 5 on the daily. A wave C, a very, very deep wave C. And I think we start moving up. My analysis had June as a pump. It really did. I had June as a pump. But I mean, mind you, it's still early in the month, guys. It's still early. The key level for the month of June, the key level is 1965. Inside the month of June, if June can reclaim 1965, then all this move down was just a flush. It was a liquidity hunt. And then going into July, we would move back up. I'll take it a step further and go onto a 3-week. Let's take off the heat map here because it's not going to transpose on a 3-week. But let's look at 3-week real quick. Let's take some of these ideas off so that way we just have less noise. There we go. So on a 3-week, sequential count wise, we had a 6 that was lower. This was our February. We had a 9 failure. So all this move right here is just correcting that move, correcting that balance. It's correcting that balance. Going over to the monthly, right? Monthly is printing an 8, which is ideal. That's kind of what you're looking for. You're looking for an 8 or a 9 that's lower than your 6 or your 7. Right now we have an 8 that's lower than our 6 and our 7. So July is still going to be on the table in the sense of that has to be a, what's the word I'm looking for? That has to be a confirmation month, right? If we're going to be moving higher inside the month of July, 9 needs to either have double bottom or maybe just a smidge underneath it. It can't have the same exact type of length inside of July. Well, I say that loosely. It can have the same length, but it can go deeper. Wherever that depth is going to be, then July is going to be your trend is at full exhaustion. When I start to see 8s like this, with a 13 that's printing underneath it, the 13 represents the lead up phase. And typically when you have 13s, your lead up phase, that's when you're running into a point of exhaustion. We've been inside of this lead up phase since, my goodness, (2022). So we've been in essentially inside of a compression. That's what it means at the end of the day. We've been inside this compression for 4 years. 4 years. 4 years. But boy, oh boy, I'm telling you right now, when this thing decides to start booming, shorts will be done. Shorts will be done for a while. So, you know, earlier in the year and even last year, you know, my analysis was saying, okay, well, we go to like 2,500, 2,600, and then we have a massive flush coming down. The fact that this is happening faster and it's fast track kind of tells me, well, once we find this bottom, after that, like, bear market's done. Bull market will begin, and we'll probably go into 2027 with seeing serious all-time highs for ETH and BTC all around. In my opinion, I think ETH will outperform everything. Somebody asked me questions. This ETH doing ETH things. Yeah, that's what ETH does. ETH retraces like 80% of its moves. We can look at it like this. Let's go over to a weekly. And remember, we got a 9 failure that sits over here too. So let's just measure this out, right? Actually, I'll put a 9. So you didn't go to 9.2. Maybe you went to 8.9. 8.9. It's unique. I know it's a smidget above this, right? That's basically we went to 88. So we retraced 88% of this move in the last year or so. That's what ETH does. That's just what ETH does. You can't do anything about that. Take off this 0.76. No longer need that. So what if ETH, like saying, what if ETH decides to keep going? Like, what if it goes to extensions? These are your extensions. This area right here would have to be like the saving grace. Like if it's gonna hold, it's gonna hold. If not, there's nothing in between here. It's like thin air. It would literally open a door for this 816, which would flush. What was that? 2021, 2022 bear market low. Yeah. Come back and revisit that area. Could you imagine if you bought, you know, 4 years ago at 8 something and you're right back here 4 years later? That would definitely make someone want to quit and not even want to touch ETH. And I wouldn't blame them. That's very disheartening. Very, very, very disheartening. Are these my boxes? Are these our boxes or was it on daily? Where did I have that? Ooh, I lost my train of thought where I had that. Maybe it was on daily? Yeah, that was on daily, my bad. There it is. So I view all of this as a ABC. All of this is ABC for me. Bro, whatever USDT is on, can you please give some of that to ETH? We're at 9s. Yeah, it broke that high, so it's sitting in those territories. It's stretched a little bit more. In a perfect world, I just want to see maybe this and then this. That's what we're looking for on USDT over the long run. Long run. Let's take a look at hype real quick, because I know that's one of the hot topics for some folks. Hype tapped into extension levels, right? 2.24. It obviously has a retrace. I think this area right over here is going to be a line in the sand if it's going to hold. If it holds that area, then it's probably going to come back and revisit this area. That's probably going to have a pretty aggressive drop. All right, so now that I'm long here, I've cleared that fair value gap. If I can't get past this 1656 area, then most likely I'm coming right back down, and I'm going to be revisiting these areas again. For USDT wave 5, I have these levels right over here. Sure. These levels, very similar to yours. I have 9.3 all the way up to here. I mean, USDT reaches here. I mean, I think ETH is sub 1K, to be honest with you. But from a Elliott Wave thesis perspective, we are inside of those Wave 5 territories currently right now. That's currently where we are. This was our Wave 3. We broke that high. Or USDT broke that high. So it could be, your Wave 5 could be here. 100% it could be here. It could also go higher. So this is where it's a little bit of a high risk. If you're longing in that zone, you're wanting Wave 5 for USDT to be done here. That's essentially what you're looking for. But then we're still not out of the woods, because then you need your ABC to follow that. And ABC, remember, Wave B can go higher than Wave A, so than the origins of where Wave A is. So let's just say this is Wave A. Wave B could do this, literally come into this level, and then come back down. Don't want to see that. I'd obviously want to see like a Wave B maybe come in retesting this area, and then we come back down. But we're far from out of the woods. Far, far, far from out of the woods. On a 15-minute for ETH, we did get like a little bit of a double bottom right here, but we did get an 8 that's higher than the 7. So maybe we get one more sweep inside this area. Let's look at shaved heads now, because I mean, actually, I'll throw them both. Yeah, so there's one here, and that was cleared. That was cleared. And then you got one way on yonder over here, and then you got one over here. Mind you, these are lower time frames, so let's go to like a 55, see if we can get a little bit more stable datum. That was cleared, that was cleared. Cleared, 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 cleared. Cleared. You don't get real decent shaved heads until you get to like 23. And then you got a good one that sits right here, 24.38. Let's go a little bit higher up. Let's go to some unique time frames. I'm gonna go to a 233. Yeah, so same area. Oh, you didn't clear. You got closer. You cleared this one, but you didn't clear this one, and that's 24. So yep, 24.62. Any other shaved heads above? No, that's technically cleared. Oh snap, that doesn't look like that was cleared. Oh, that wasn't. Interesting. What is that? 4,200? Good gosh. I mean, it's safe to say that, I mean, I'm not shorting here. Even if we went to 1,300, 800 bucks, I'm not interested in the shorts here for the simple fact that USDT could be done here. I'd rather just wait for USDT to give me a wave A and then look to see if there's a possible short for ETH going into wave B for USDT. More or less the same, I think I did. So you did a 618 from here. I'm not sure where you, I don't know, I'm not following, I don't know where you did your wave count on that. Happy to look into it, but I'm not following where you did your wave 4 or you did your measurements. I mean, if you're going to measure wave 5, I mean, you want to measure from the origins to the peak of wave 3. That's one way, and that's going to give you a 1.272. That's where this area comes from. You can see it here. See the 2 bullet points. Swing point here. That's the origins, top of wave 3. That's going to be an advanced wave. I need to lock that down so it doesn't change. The other way of doing that is going to take from your peak of wave 3 down to your bottom of wave 4 and then look for your extension levels. So if I don't get to 1.272 and I fall somewhere in between here, what levels would I fall into? Then I would fall into these extension levels. That's how I measure them. That's how I approach them. I think this literally went to 1. Pretty much. 1.09, something weird. Oh no, that's too much. That's too much. It's too much. 1.1? It's the same thing. It's going to give me the same area. 009. Yeah. Just a smidge over 1. Which is reflective of, you know, double tops. And wave 5 literally starts at 1. And then you have your extensions, 1.13, 1.272, 1.414, and then you have your larger count at 1.272 measured from the origins to the peak of wave 3. DX, yeah, maybe in a second. The scary part is that we touch these areas and we're not bouncing like what we did in February, right? That's the scary part. We tapped and then just kind of moved sideways. Excuse me, we tapped and then we went right up from there and then moved sideways. Here we're tapping into it, but there's no bounce. That's concerning. ETH has already swept its February low. BTC has yet to do that. So if BTC can hold this area, then I think it'll pull everything back up with it. subwaves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A, B, C. Nice. Okay. Alright.
Like a Hellcat.
Let's see how that goes. Small little drop. I need to get back over to ETH real quick. Sorry, man.
Like a Hellcat.
What's the top of this 60 and 1777? I would love to see if us get to at least 1777. Alright, let's see what the test does. 3 minute here, kind of green. Let's go to 1 minute. Let's give ourselves some anxiety. Ooh, nice pin bar. Nice pin bar, but you got low liquidity right here. Don't like that. Let's go over to our daily real quick. What do we tap into? So I'm gonna get rid of this line. Well, I didn't mean to do that, but we tapped into that bottom line, which was 1579. Yeah. So I'm inside that little pocket there. You're now in the 90s. I mean, what do you got? 91%? No, you're still in the 80s. So maybe you're at 89.5? Okay, so maybe you're at 90.01. There you are. So 90% of its move from a year ago. It just retraced 90% of it. Bananas, boy. Bananas, bananas, bananas. So we're inside this little demand area right here. This is really what needs a hold. If not, this thing is going to flush. No, I did answer your question. Brother, I literally answered your question. I read your question and then I went into it. These are the areas. If not, then it breaks down into these levels. Like if we have a massive flush, like there's very thin liquidity here and the fair value gap is right over here. See? You would need this area to hold 1335. And you would need to see if this doesn't hold, there's nothing here. Sure, there's the mathematics for it, but there's really not much here in the sense of imbalance, right? We want to come back over here and retest this. It was tested once, a little smidge, and then boop, bounce. High, drop, all-time high. So literally from this area drove into an all-time high. But hopefully that answers your question. I'm hoping it did. USDT still on his BS. I went higher this time. Good. Okay. 1.2. No, that's too high. You're still at 1. Probably 0.08. Yeah. A little lower. So 0.4. Yeah, you're at 0.4. Thicken those up. I'm running a very low leverage on a main account though, just as an FYI. I have a high leverage, a degen one that I'm running right now, and then I'm running another entry at a low leverage like 5x. But I'm going a little bit heavier on that one. Let's come back over to this. What was that on a 1 minute, right? Let's open that up. We should make sure that these transpose to the lower time frames. What was it, daily? Yeah. I didn't mean to do that. Let's get these to transpose and below, and kind of give us an easier viewpoint. So when we do look at these lower time frames, okay. So this is our pocket. What is fear at right now? Let's see. What is fear at right now? 12. Fear's at 12, guys. It's at 12. Before this drop started happening, we were at 28, then 23, and now we're at 12. Let's look back at this on ETH. 9 million 100x longers at 1565. 9.5 million. And 100x shorters at 1632. And they have 21 million that sit there. The next pocket is 1749. There's 26 million on 100x, a total of 343. 1632 has 103 million. And if we're really going to squeeze 543 million up to 1790. Let me see what that looks like on my end for me.
Jack it up.
Okay.
Jack it up.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. Hold on. Let me Let me log in and do something real quick.
Until I broke the rules, my life destroyed.
388.7.
Until I walk awake, scream my mind, I shout, the ground shakes. How much can I take? My mind will break. Will it break? Can I take?
Okay.
Can I be your superhero?
Oh, that's not what I meant to do.
It's the first time of today. Today. To dream, believe. You are the strength, you're all I need. Oh, gonna give it a shot. Only one of me to shield you all from the enemy. You're a superhero. You're a superhero.
Oh, there's a layout. There you go. Oh, I can't fix that. How do I change? I gotta figure that out. That's fine. No big deal. I'll just move some stuff over. I'll switch them around. Just move some stuff over for us. I'm setting up some stuff in the back end on the screen. Let's go ahead and let's move these over, and let's move you over here. works. Okay. What's up, Kimberly? How you doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. What's up, brother? How you doing, man? Love you too, man. Welcome back. Welcome back. Glad you're here. Yeah, somewhere inside this pocket, I think I'm fairly confident we're gonna touch down here.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all
15 minute has a double bottom,
no, I don't wanna waste what's left.
but we've already seen one double bottom so far at 1573. So
We'll go.
I treat that with like a grain of salt.
Dance through the highways till my shadow turns to sun rays. And we'll go through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go.
Yeah, all is well, man. Everybody's getting bigger, everybody's getting older.
Finding life along the way, melodies we haven't played. No, I don't want no rest. Echoing around these walls,
All right, new weekly low. That's what this blue line is. Actually, no, that's not what that blue line is. I don't even have that on. I'm retarded. There we go. This red line right here is that weekly low. So just create a new weekly low. And what did we get to? 1567? Pretty damn close. Pretty damn close. See, A, B, big, massive wave C. And then you have your zigzag in between. I mean, you have your subwave in between. This is the new one that I'm writing. I'll be releasing it to you guys that already have the indicator package, and anyone that signs up for a new indicator package, this is something that's going to be included in it. But it's designed to help you identify waves and the projections as far as where they're going to be going. And you can see all of the different types of zigzags, and you can adjust your fib levels inside here. So like if you have a different thesis, you know, like maybe wave C goes to like a 2.2 something, like you can adjust that and it can give you the projections. And then it's going to give you entry zones and validations and all that jazz. So still fine tuning it. I'm literally testing it out here now with you guys. It's something I was building over the last 2 weeks, just refining. I have another Elliott wave tool, but I wanted to refine this one a little bit more. This kind of picks up all my zigzags and gives me all my wave C's. So I'm just duplicating some of the logic that's behind that and going a little bit more depth. Not that anybody asked, but just if you guys are curious as to what the heck you're seeing on my chart, that's what I'm looking at. So I know I'm reaching these areas. I'm reaching like extension levels areas. Come on, give us another sweep. Get us into 1560. Get us there. Come pick up my order, please. Come pick up my order, please. I'm just focused on the fair value gaps right now. That's what I'm focused on right now. Let's look at this. Did anything print? Let's go to higher time frame on that. Let's see. Anything print? There's a massive total pattern. Yeah, that's the one I had from earlier. Okay, that's decent. I mean, it ran into a stop loss because that's just because I have the settings set so people just don't get completely wrecked on this. But it doesn't mean that the pattern is invalidated. This is just from a risk management perspective. So let's draw that out. Let's draw that out. I think I already actually have this. Actually, I'm pretty sure I already do. I'm pretty sure I do. Oh, I have you on a different chart. That's fine. I'll just put it here. I'll just do it here. It makes total sense to get into that PRZ zone. So wave B would be, let's take some of this noise off. And Fair value gap sits right at that wave B. I like a lot. I like it a lot. Yeah, I'll drop this inside this the stream channel, inside our server, so you guys have an idea as far as what I'm looking at. So first things first, I'm gonna mark out my legs, because my legs are gonna be my TPs. And this level right over here is more of confirmation, not necessarily a TP. I mean, you can use it as both, right? You can use it as a TP or confirmation, meaning if we can break above where wave X originated from, if we can hold that area, then the pattern is going to be confirmed, right? But if we start breaking against this area, which was a support level, but then flips into resistance, then it has a little bit more room to come down. So let's say that you did long from this area and you get to, 1742. Let's just say we do get there, then you'd be taking TPs inside that zone. All right, hitting those levels. Hitting these levels. Sheesh. Come on, give me my 1560. Did you tap my line? Yeah, you basically tapped my line. Yep, now you're on my line. Let's do or die here. Either it's gonna massive flush or it's gonna hold. Oh, we're losing it. We're losing it, boys. We're losing it. We're losing it.
To the B side.
So the reason why you see me moving this, because a total pattern is pretty wild, meaning it has pretty long legs. So what I'm looking at right now is this to be a PRZ zone. And PRZ stands for price reversal zone. So it doesn't necessarily have to be just spot on the number. You're looking for this zone to essentially hold, which it's not at this moment. Let's go over to daily. Where are we? Where did you move to? We'll leave that there. Let's go ahead and make another one. Well, actually, I don't even need that. I can just see it on the weekly. So weekly. Yeah, bro, you're tapping into all that liquidity. Who are you taking out? Everybody and their mama. Everybody and their mom. All right. All right.
Get down to the
We're back above it. Okay, let's adjust this. How much did you retrace? Oh, yeah. Are you at 9.2? No, you're not there. You're still at 9. So you're at what, 90? 08? Pretty close. So you're at 91 maybe? Just a smidge underneath. So 91.8, 918. Too much. 91.4. 91.38. Yeah, 91.3. Okay. There it is. There it is. There it is. Come on. Put some life into it. Put some life into it. Nice sweep. All right. Let's go. Let's go. Break above. That's a good job. Everything is a discount, guys. Everything is a discount right now. Everything is a discount. $15.60 went to $15.47. That's okay. I have average of $15.49. As I said in the beginning of the stream, I was saying inside VIP, I was saying inside of our war room, I'm going to DCA these areas. I'm going to DCA these areas. You know, when we look at, excuse me. When we look at liquidity here, let's go ahead and give it a refresh. This is the problem. This is the problem that we're running into. This is why we keep dropping this, because people like myself, I'm not immune to that. People like myself, we're aping into these areas, and there's a collection of them. 15 million at 100x, 2.85. I'm inside this bucket. I'm inside the 5x bucket. 733. But you have so many people aping in that it just keeps pushing down into the zones and just taking that liquidity. So that says two things to us. One, there's a lot of degenerates in the market. We already know that. But at the same time, there's a lot of buyers in the market that are like, are not afraid per se. Like, I don't think max pain of fear is actually kicked in. We're at a high level of fear. Yes, we're at a level of 12. You can see it right over here inside of our platform. We're at a 12 right now. We have some whale alerts that are going on right now. This is for BTC. Let's look at ETH. Let's give it a second or so to start triggering. Yeah, see, they're buying in at these levels. So we have some buy levels coming in. We have liquidations. Longs liquidated 9 million, only 1.5 on Bybit, 10.63. And so now they're turning around trying to sell it. But fear's at 12. So I'm in that bucket of going, well, I want to buy the fear. I want to buy when there's fear inside those areas. Let's go to a... let me switch over real quick. And I'm going to go over to a... actually, can I pull it up in here? Yeah, I can. Not bad. I didn't mean to switch over. Sorry about that. Here. You can see it right here. Let me get rid of that. Extreme fear. March was an extreme. March of... No. I want this. March of 25. No, March 25th, 2026. Extreme fear. Extreme fear. Oh, it just hit a 10. Good gosh. My goodness. You saw that? That thing flucked fluctuated to 8, back down to 13, back up to 13. Good job, boy. Good job, good job, good job. Now just manage it accordingly, right? Let's go back over to that 4 hour. Right? I know you like to utilize harmonics, or at least you're wanting to understand them. So I'll go back into that explanation. Right? If we get up to here, let's just say price gets up to here, and then it starts rejecting here inside this area, chances are we're coming right back down to this level. And you need to pray and hope that all this move up was a 1 and this move down was a 2. So you're going to be looking for your 88. Forgive my ugly drawings here, but you're looking for an 88 or you're looking for a 76 inside of here, wherever this goes to. So what I'm getting at is, like, I would take profits here. I would definitely take profits there. Now, the other side of that is saying, well, what if we break above here and we come here and we float inside this area? Then that tells me that this entire pattern is solidified, but it doesn't negate the fact that we won't revisit coming back down to a 76 or an 88. Meaning, going back to this, I know that the drawings are ugly, so let's just make this cleaner. I didn't mean to do that part. You know, we come into this area, the pattern can still be solidified, but it also has a 50-50 chance where it sweeps and comes down lower. If it comes up to this area and holds this area, floats around, then makes its move, the pattern is more confirmed. So the probabilities of the pattern actually sticking are greater than 50%. And then you'd obviously have your TPs here, you have your TPs here, and then you have your TPs here. This is all internal structure. Now, to break that structure, we're going to look at some extension zones. And the way that I'm going to measure that is I'm going to measure from wave C to wave D. I'm going to measure this entire leg. There's different ways that you can measure this. Sometimes I'll run just an X to an A leg. But considering that I have a deep leg here for wave D, I'm going to measure this structure right over here. So really what I'm looking for is I'm looking for where those extension levels can go to. So we're going to measure from here to here. Yes, that's upside down. There we go. So these would be extension levels. And obviously, if you already have the indicator in your tool shed, you know, it's this right over here. So you got one TP that sits here, you got another TP that sits here, you have another one here, and then you have another one here. I think this would be a blessing. This would be grace. And if we get any of this, then we're Gucci. But if you don't have the indicator and you're just kind of doing this by hand and you're utilizing it from that perspective, then you're going to want to use extension levels. You could also do it from wave from here to see this is not going to work as well as the other leg, right? Because that's going to give you some short waves. You really want to see these over here. So that's why I'm not using them. I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm just saying that if you use these, you're probably going to get a little bit better data off of that. And I'm pretty sure we got some gaps to close inside of there. Obviously, you don't even need the fair value gaps. You can see it, right? Just take out the SMD here for a second. Let's also look at this real quick. Okay, I just wanted to take a peek at that. Let's look at this right here. All right, so that's smaller. Volume area low 1801. POC. Just inside that POC and just right where that weekly high is going to be. Okay, weekly high is at 2010. That's right where the POC is. Volume area high 2156. All right, so that's from that. And let's use a larger one. Alright. And am I getting the same read? Alright. POC. Okay. Yeah, so that's your shelf. That's your shelf. $23.12. What does that do for me? Okay. Back to the charts. Alright, let's go back over to 1 minute. I can take this noise off. I don't want to use it on the 1 minute. Decent. Okay, no shave bottoms, Okay, it's decent. I said decent. The wave 5 on USDT looks similar to the one on the previous bear market. Yep, sure does. You waited an entire day for the sweep? That's good. Patience pays off. But look, you got a fair value gap here on the lower time frame. Let's go to a slightly higher one. Let's just go to 3 minutes to see what that looks like. And what I'm really doing here is when I'm looking at these slightly higher time frames, I'm looking for excuse me, I'm looking for unauthentic moves. Like I'm looking for shaved bottoms. I'm not really seeing any, or I'm looking for thin liquidity. So as I'm flipping through, I'm not going to find it anywhere here. So really going to go from like 8 minute down, come back over to 1 minute. Just remember, you got this fair value gap over here. So there's two ways that you can treat that. Either, you know, there's traders that just hold that position and, you know, like, hey, it's stop loss or full TP, or they take some profit here, come back down to the fair value gap, and then reload on that. So then it goes and takes with him 7 other spirits. An unclean spirit returns. Posted some devotional for you guys this morning. I felt like it was a good read. I had my Bible open, and I don't know how I got to this page, but I always take that as divine intervention. And there's something that the Lord wanted me to read today, and that's why I shared it with you. And it's Luke 11, verse 24 through 26. So if any of you guys are struggling with feeling like you got a funk on you, then take a read on that. Repentance doesn't just happen just once. It's an ongoing process. None of you guys asked for that, but I was compelled, and he told me to share that with you guys. I need to fix this. There, that's fixed. God bless you too, brother. God bless. Ah, un momento. Go ahead. You good? Yeah. Yeah, but I can't keep it moving. So, here, guys. Be right back. Okay, I'm back. I'm back. I apologize about that. Okay, what'd I miss? Uh, 1 minute. Not what I wanted to see. I mean, I haven't really even tested this fair value gap, so I really want to see what occurs here. Where's your intent? Is this your intent? I think this is going to be its intent. We're going to do this one dotted so we know what we're looking at. Oh, that's too small. We're going to turn that to still orange. Yeah, I think it's the same issue with the let me see about the people entering. Yeah, look at that. Jeez Louise. 15. Bro, did BTC even touch that? Oh, it sure did. It swept it. I didn't even catch that. Holy cannoli. 59,778. And what was the previous low? Just underneath that? Yeah, let's take off the SMD real quick. Oh yeah, that was right over there. Eee. So it swept that. So everybody bought at 59,632. Heavy longs, 42 million, 100 Xers. What's underneath that? 352 million. Damn, there's a lot of buys there. There's a lot of buys there. Let's look at ETH real quick. Oh my gosh. Bro, they aped. They aped. Did we even reach? Yeah, we reached 1560. We went to 1547. So 98 million, 25 mil, 60. So a $1.80 and some change in between. And there's a couple little pockets here. So I'm just gonna round up to a round number, say like 500 mil between 70 and 42. What's above? 30 versus 25? 79 at 1625. Bruh. Oh, come on. Are you kidding me? Like, what are you guys after? $15.26, 28 mil. And these are all low leverage people, bro. These are probably your spot bags right over here. My goodness. 5 billion sits at 2400s. 3 billion sits at 2200s. 1.5 at 2000s. Let's actually go to the 2000s because that's that psychological level, so it's really in between. So let's just say 2014, 1.5 at the psychological level. Oh, I'm on the wrong chart. My bad. My bad. I didn't mean to do that. Damn, I didn't even catch that on BTC. Let's look at Cypher Wave for a second here. I mean, look at this. Completely overbought, running really red here from an RSI and money flow perspective. DMI, same thing like ETH, right? Like DI negative is sitting way on yonder. And you're at 71. There you are.
Yo, this a war zone, homie. Say you ready and prepared. Take a minute, make them aware. Well, I be sneaking in the back, but it's what the clap. Homie, life ain't fair. Caught me crawling through the mud with a vision, saw it clearly. Born a shepherd to these sheep, make them fear me. This a war zone, trenched out, trap house, nothing ever given. Yeah, every day's a blessing. Thank the Lord, oh how I'm living. See me riding with my top down, oh cops round, pedal pressing on the gas. I don't think I'll ever stop.
Bro, you're at 100%. Like, take a break, bro. Take a break. Give me a quick second.
I think the girls with their nails done.
Phone is buzzing.
Girls with their nails done. I think the girls with their nails done.
The camera back on a second. I'm gonna my phone. If you guys are enjoying the streams, you guys enjoyed the content, it would be a huge favor to me if you guys hit the like button while you're on here. It definitely helps the content get out there. Helps share the message for others that want to know about trading, want to know about setups, whether they're experienced or brand new. It's a big help to me, so I thank you in advance. And obviously sharing is always appreciated.
I think the girls with their nails done now.
you guys need me to look at anything in particular, let me know. I feel a little bit better about the position, so I can operate a little bit better. I mean, I still got another, what, 4 hours and some change before this candle's done. 4 hours, excuse me, not 4 hours. I have like an hour and some change. Oh no, I got 3 hours, my bad. So I'm going to switch this intent over. I'm going to move this intent over to here and see if it can hold the open. $15.73-ish. XLM? Oh, you want the dinosaur? Oh my gosh. I just want to add XLM on my. I thought I had it, but maybe I don't. I have you somewhere. Yeah, I remember this last year. I remember this specifically. Jeez, that looks like a flag. One, two, three, four. I mean, that's how I would look at that. Because I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 with truncation. And ABC sideways. Nope, that won't work. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. A, B, C. And then 1, 2, 3. Nope. Subways. Okay. That won't work either. I need a tool. I'm gonna...
Just like a spark that's breaking out. Can't make a stop, can't turn back now. We know that there's no room for doubt. No, we can't turn back now. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we gonna light it up.
Why is that not transposing? Why can't I see that? Oh, there you are. Well, that's inaccurate. And that's inaccurate. Damn, this is difficult. Like, this is what I want to say. But I don't even think I get a proper... I don't think I get a proper count with that. And I'm pretty sure I can't find a pattern. I don't think I have enough data for a pattern. Yeah, I can't even get anything on that. I have nothing on a daily. I don't have enough data for swing points. I got these. But that just went full TP. So I can't use that. I gotta go wider, man. Oh, man. Oh, that's just atrocious. I know you can't see it. You'll see it in a second. What if my wave 5 is not done? Okay. Okay, I can work with that. Okay, so let's do some measurements. Let's start with 2, just so we can get a... Whoops, did not mean to do that. That's what I meant to do. No, 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 no. Oh my god, this is gonna take forever. Alright, let's just go to like 95%. Yep. Excuse me. Okay.
Smoke lingers after fire. The smoke lingers after fire.
Yep, I'll take that.
Blind devotion, empty notion. Like a roaring ocean, slow motion. The smoke lingers after fire.
Damn, that's an aggressive. All right. Now here comes a problem. Which that looks like you're inside of a diagonal. It's pretty evident.
Lay down your troubled mind. We are only kind and will kindly
Yeah, see, that's not working.
to be
Oh wait, never mind. But,
intertwined
see, that's a little bit of a problem.
in this cosmic symphony.
Oh my god, Saint, but it retraced past wave 1. It's invalidated. Yes, in normal cash markets, not in high risk assets. It's a little bit different.
Smoke lingers after fire.
So
The smoke lingers after fire.
well, there you are. It's gonna take forever. I mean, I could do it by hand, but I want to run it automated first. I want to see what it looks like. Too small. Maybe. No. I'll probably get an ABCD out of that. Eh. not ideal, but it actually fits. Okay. So where are you measuring from? Yeah, I want to go a little bit wider on that. I'm gonna go from the initial drop. I'm gonna run that one manual. Okay. Probably not. So you're probably gonna be somewhere over here. I'm trying to get to the 8. Nope, that definitely won't work. How do I get there? I gotta get a subwave in here. Sideways, so oh, this would be 1. Oh, is that a shaved bottom there? Yep, look at you. Alright, so I'm definitely getting rid of you. So I'm going to target you. Okay, so you give me my 2. Now, where am I going to get my 3 from? Oh, we're getting closer. Yeah, you know what? I'll run with that. I'll run with that. I'm going to just jump to a 5 on this. I'm going to jump to a 5. I'm not going to look at the 4 yet. Where am I going from? I'm going from here. Bingo. Found you. So then I need to find another fib zone inside here. I initially went from there, but let's go from here to here. I'll change that color around so we know what we're looking at. We'll go with like a yellow, I guess. And we'll just make it solid. And we'll thin it out. Oh, look at you. You kind of line up. All right. All right. So I like you over here. You have 55. Okay. So that works. So I don't need that right now. Okay. So that bracket's fine. Damn, that's going to be a huge wave. So you're probably going to be more over here. You'll probably be somewhere over here. And get a 4 over here, and then get a 5 over here. I'm not really concerned about the 4. I'm just trying to see where I can get mathematically to that 5 over there. I do need to measure a 5. Well, that was a 5, but I also want to run an extended, which I don't think will go there, but let's just run it for kicks and giggles. Oh snap! You do get in there. Look at you. All right. And you're actually part of the bigger scheme, so we need to make you larger. Let's just go with a different green. Let's just go bright green on this one here. So, you're my extension for my ABC, okay? You're my fib, and then you're my... I got a lot going on here, okay? So, bigger wave would look like this. Yep, primary. And then I'm gonna run a sub inside. I don't know. I didn't measure before, so I'm just speculating here. Yeah. So I'm gonna take you off. So you'd have an advanced subwave. Damn, you'd have an advanced subwave. You have an advanced primary wave, and then you're gonna get into extension levels. So there's a lot going on right over here. Mathematically, there's a lot going on right there. I'll put this inside of VIP for you, so you have it for reference. Let's put this inside of VIP. Oh boy, I'm gonna tag you in it so you know it's there. This is on daily. Because then from the bigger picture, did I get rid of it? Did I get rid of it? Let's just save all this. I'm just gonna call it stream idea. I only wanted to transpose on this time frame only. And then let's go over to that pattern that I was looking at. So now this kind of makes a little bit more sense. I'll add that. I'll add that in there too, so that way you don't miss it. You can just kind of copy it. Because I mean, I can use this as a B, but then it gets real wonky, right? That looks like a white swan, but I don't like that. I like this more. I look like I'm gonna have an anti-bat. Yeah, I think for my if I were to I'm not going to. I'm just saying if I were to, it'd look something like that. And then I would hedge it. The stop loss will be irrelevant because I'm going to be hedged. But then this would be like a scalp for me. And then I have an add back. You know what? I will give you a wave 4 on this subwave just so we can have good measure for that. I don't know where it's going to land, but let's just say if that's going to be sharp, I'm going to look at flat levels. So you know what? The scalp won't even make any sense. Risk to reward, it won't even make any sense. So no, I wouldn't even short that. I would just leave the long and then maybe look for an add back. Because most likely I'll probably come into some one of these levels. I don't even think it'll be that deep. I did that wrong. There it is. Yeah, that makes more sense. And then I would have add backs. I mean, I would start here. Oh my gosh. These would just be add backs. Like if you're longing from here, like you have more than enough room to play with.
You would wipe away my tears, so sincere, turn gray skies to blue. You won't ever change your ways, doing what you do.
Bro, let me type.
Well, you can keep on talking,
Thereabouts, right? And I'll give this to you again just so you know what you're looking at, so just so you can go from memory. There you go. Yeah, this would be the subwave. So I think obviously this is done. You gotta. This is an 8. This is a 9. Then you have your breakdown. 1, 2, 3, 4. Flush into this shaved bottom right over here. Open 16366, low 16355. So it's really not a shaved bottom, but there is thin liquidity there. I'd still be targeting it. And even if you don't get entry, like let's just say this was wave. Let's put that on with 0.5. Nope. 618. Nah. 76. Just underneath it. You can look at those levels too. Right, maybe it doesn't come all the way down to 8.8. I would make the assumption it is because there's thin liquidity there. That's why I have it like that. Yeah, there's a lot going on right here. Mathematically, there's a lot going on here. Yep, I like it. That's what I would use. Alright. Did I just blind everybody with a brighter chart? Ah, you're whipsawing. Yeesh. Look at that. They went to 1612. All right. Anybody else? I got some energy in me. Is there a new 4-hour? What am I missing here? I must have moved this or done something to it. I must have sausage fingered it. 1583. It's not a new 4-hour. Okay. So whipsawing right here. This looks like it might either turn into a doji. Like if it closes right over here, then you got a doji. You have a long tail doji, which is showing indecision, which kind of correlates with what we were talking about as far as fear being in the market. You know, people are trying to buy, but also at the same time they're extremely fearful right now, considering that BTC swept. Everyone's targeting 53 to 48 inside those areas.
meet you by the fire. Listen, listen. There's something I must confide. No, I said that it'd be fine. No, I made it look like it'd be alright. But I think I learned my lesson, and I'm not gonna let you out of my sight. You can call me killer, 'cause I'll bring you to the light. And it might taste bitter when you're answering to God. You can call me killer as you look into my eyes. Nothing but a sinner. You won't get away this time. You won't get away this time. You won't get away this time. You won't get away. You can call me killer, 'cause I'll bring you to the light. And it might taste bitter when you're answering to God. You can call me killer as you look into my eyes. Nothing but a sinner. You won't get away this time. You won't get away this time. Won't get away.
love her cooking, but I cannot. That's so weird. She can do Thursday through Saturday, and I can do Sunday through Wednesday. Or Sunday, none of us could. She could do Thursday through Sunday. An even trade. All right, but I don't want to get ahead of myself. Let's focus on what we have. Oi. I had to get a bite to eat, guys. I'm so sorry about that. Hello, hello. Freeze? What's up, Freeze? How you doing? Choppy weekend. Yeah, I mean, I keep saying, you know, the weekends have been weird for the last several weeks, really. They've been pumps on a Saturday, dumps on a Sunday, dumps on a Saturday. So we've actually had traction over the weekends, but just what if, right? The big what if. What if this is ETH's bottom for 2026? Either this, you know, we're touching bottoms or we're approaching it, like we're getting right inside of that area, inside that pocket. I think a lot of it's going to be contingent off of what I've been going back and forth over and over and over again. Really what happens with BTC here, if BTC wants to hold this level or sweep into 53, or if USDT wants to hold this as a wave 5, if not push into, let's say, like 9.345 inside that area. This is not advice. I'm not telling anyone on the stream too long. I'm sharing with you what I'm doing. I'm not afraid to long these areas. I'm not. I can tell you what I won't be doing. I'm definitely not shorting. Definitely not shorting these zones. Unless it's a scalp like in and out, like it don't make any sense to me personally. I know this candle, this looks like a Takuri line that's developing here. I mean, it's got 2.5 hours. There's a lot that can happen in 2.5 hours, but the ideal area, just if you're doing candle analysis, is you really want to see that it closes above where this last candle closed, the previous candle. You didn't go the distance though. That's we need to change these to black because we're using a different chart. So let's switch these around. That's the next target. That's what I was saying earlier. If this is a bear pennant that's playing out, then that's our next target. In the words of boy, I'm selling my kidney and buying. But that's got to be painful, especially if you bought during this time right over here. A 4-year round trip. Ew. Gosh. Just leaves a nasty taste in your mouth. I would definitely be pissed. Let's check on our guy, man. We got a guy on Hyperbot. Some of you guys have seen me post about this guy. This guy has big brass ones. Big giant brass ones. Let me open it up here. Let me show you guys what I'm looking at. Where'd this guy go? Let's go over monitor. Bro, look at this guy. He's de-risked. He was at 92 million. He longed 2265. And now he's de-risked to 63. Well, I guess they don't show the decrease when he comes out of positions. What's he holding in spot? 7.1. His margin is 4.2 million. Leverage at 15x. And I swear to you guys, this has got to be his second account because everything is duplicate. Like entry wise, when he's transferred money over. So I think this guy's running 2 accounts, and this guy's not closing either, except he's running a little bit slightly lower margin, but with a slightly higher leverage. Either that, they already know each other, or someone's copying the other person. But the similarities are too identical, even down to like the fills. Like even when, I think I was doing this with you guys the other day in the server, but when we were looking at, I think it was, jeez, this guy's been buying SOL like crazy. Sheesh. There you go. When did he open this bad boy? April 19th. He started at 2306. Took some profits. And then started increasing. Took some profits, increasing. And it's like copy and paste from this other guy over here. This guy right here. And this guy, yeah, this guy was short on BTC from 67. Check this out. He was short. He closed it 2 days ago. He was short at 67, and he held this thing for 63 days. Meaning, BTC went all the way up to 80 plus, and he was still holding. And he finally closed in profits at 33 and some change. What is he? I think he's still holding a short right now on ETH. Yeah, he's up 14 milli, but look at that margin, boy. Yeesh. $26 million short at 1874. What is 1874? I'm just curious. Let's refresh this real quick. Look at that. That just went up. That just went up. What is 1874? That's pretty close to it. 874 million in liquidation sit there. He's in the lower tier. He's in the 5x leverage, 8 mil. Actually, I can find him on a Hyperliquid. Yeah, I can find exactly where you are, dude. It's probably over the last 30 days. Yeah, it's the last 30 days. So where's 1874? Whew, look at this gap here. Bro, if we hit 1757, it's just going to squeeze to 1853. It's just, look at that gap. It's just going to smoke all these positions. Yeah, he needs 1853 in area. He needs his 1874 to hold. If not, yeah, he's going to get squeezed right back into this. So there's a pocket here, there's a pocket here, and then there's another pocket here. And this pocket gets 237. Yeah, he's in this bucket. I think, what was he? Was he 3x? Yeah, he's 3x.
Save myself by turning into stone. So save your judgment cause you just
Okay.
don't know. But some things never change. Never change. Oh, they say I should feel guilty and change my ways, leaving crumpled bodies in my wake. Swear I didn't mean to make them break. Swear I didn't mean to make them break. But they're so delicate and so mundane.
Hopefully we get a by weekend. It says stop losses break even already. Got good entries. That's good. That's good. That's just about managing it, right? It's just about managing it. You know what we haven't checked? We haven't checked Cypherwave on multiple time frames. Let's start with 4 hour. Well, that doesn't look good. I need to write that. I keep forgetting to write that. I need to write that back into my code where I actually just have these lines that are there that are more solid. I gotta make a note of that. Well, we're touching previous buy areas. That's on a monthly too. Oh, my bad. Yeah, I fixed that, sorry. Sorry about that. We have some decent whale alerts that are kicking in right now. I'm buying. Was that some of these shorts? Okay. Funding is still positive overall. You're still sitting at 12. What? Oh, bro, that was scaring me. I was like, yo, how are we there? Okay, they're at 13. I gotta fix that. That's driving me crazy. It's like a little image.
Feel me like a Hellcat.
There we go. Looking for the fluidity. Yeah, I know. That's gonna be the problem. This is a majority of us are gluttons for pain. You got a bunch of traders that are masochists. They're like, give me more pain, please. Punish me.
Feel me like a Hellcat.
I was looking at it on a weekly. I scrolled away from that. It was only a 4 hour? Bro, I need you to show on every interval, please.
Like a Hellcat.
Oh, I'm over my limit. 3 hours. I was not anticipating that.
Feel me like a Hellcat. Like a Hellcat.
What is this? Biggest falling wedge I've seen in a while. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. How depressing will it be if ETH went to 4,700 and just came all the way back down again? If ETH did that, I'm probably saying this now and I'll probably retract this later, but I'll probably stop trading ETH. If it went to 4,700 and came all the way back down and swept, I would probably stop trading it. There you go, money man. That's how you get Saint to stop trading ETH. Take him to 4,700 and then come all the way back down. He'll never touch it again. Yeah, these guys are just aping in, dude. They're just 59,632, man. They're just aping in, bro. Traders. We don't learn. But I'm pretty sure I'm not the only person who's looking at this going. 10% hype and then Sol. Oh. I would probably transition over to Sol. If I'm gonna trade another large cap. Actually, let's take a look at Sol. I don't know, do you guys prefer dark charts or do you guys like white charts? So I think I have Sol already. I think I have Sol. I think I have Sol under here. Yeah, I have Sol here. I already have Sol mapped out. Didn't give me my wave 4. Didn't give me any of that. You bastard. I mean, the short played out. So you were the wave. Oh, good. Actually, I don't even need that anymore because it doesn't even matter. So is you. A, B, C, and now the new leg. I'm gonna do it like this. Yep. Look what I found. That's if you're bullish. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna go see if I can find some longs on that. River? Nah, not yet. I'll buy River when it's like at 2.5. I have nothing there. You stretch this out now. There was another one we were looking at. River was one of them. Oh, it was Dusk. Is it Dusk? Yeah, it was Dusk and Rose. Yeah, we'll run through all of them. Screw it. We'll just run through all of them. Set a little alarm for you. Alright. I already did hype. Is hype transposing? Oh, it is transposing. Good, 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 good. Yep, hype got a lot more to come down. Well, the short is working out. Yeah. I'm looking for this thing just absolutely dying. Absolutely dying. Make it all-time low. That didn't work. Just obliterated that.
Empty hearts and neon lights. The playing with my mind. Gotta get out of here tonight. Oh, I wanna run off and fly.
Where is it?
And I'll tell myself it's fine to
I always
be
get brain fog when I'm looking for.
alone. Just to find somewhere that finally feels like home. Oh, oh, oh. I hate all this overthinking. Oh, 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 oh. The more I swim, the more I'm sinking. Take me to a world of silver. No more heartbreaks, tears, painkillers. Take me somewhere unfamiliar.
Bro, where are the session breaks?
Back to where we started. Get me out of now.
Am I losing my mind?
Where we started. Get me out of now. To where we started.
I'm not losing my mind here, right? Did TradingView move them? Where are the what? Okay.
Just to find somewhere that finally feels like home. Oh, oh, oh. I hate all
Bro, I can't find session breaks.
thinking. Oh, 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 oh.
That's fine.
I swim, the more I'm sinking. Take me to a world of silver. No more heartbreaks, tears, painkillers. Take me somewhere unfamiliar. Bring me back to where we started. Get me out of now.
See, session breaks is there. I'm not losing my mind. It's under events. I was just under events. And it doesn't have it. Awesome. So I'm not going crazy. You don't have enough data for session breaks? It's retarded. Shoot, is Rose at an all-time low? Yeah, Rose is at an all-time low. Alright, say goodbye to that. Say goodbye to that. Gosh, this coin is amazing. Oh man. Oh, so you're just a channel. Okay. So you're just a channel. Tough. Very tough. Eesh. The infinite stop loss. That would be super tight. Maybe. Maybe. I'm going to give a little bit of grace right there. Maybe. Maybe. Oh yeah, I can find that. That works too. Yeah, that could work. It's a total pattern. I mean, that's a little bit more accurate, but it's a total pattern so I can stretch. Wave B is right where that is. I don't know. I might do a crap coin. I might actually do a crap coin. Oh, you were my daily, okay. I just need to switch you back to how I had you. And just gonna go ahead and add you. Actually, you know what? I'll do it a different way. I'll do it this way. Because this I can actually get session breaks. in here. All right, I'm losing my mind here, guys. On this chart, I can see session breaks. I can see session breaks. I can see under events. Still on index. But if I come here, I can't see session breaks. I don't know what that's about. All right. Your daily. Okay, so you're gonna show me session breaks in 4 hours. Okay, that's fine. I get it now. I get it now. I get it now. I get it. 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 I get it.
I have been taken by the words that you say. The voice that carries them has kept me astray. Too soon to act on it, can we ever
Sheesh.
be? That all depends on what you're feeling from me. Show you all the way. Let me show you all the ways. Let me
Yeah,
show
none of
you
that would work.
all the ways. Yeah. Let me show you all
That's fine. I'll stick to my daily. No gas for you. No gas for you. Does that still fit though? I see that. Not really. Not really. It's broken there.
I have been taken by the words that you say. The voice that carries them.
It could be splitting hairs on that, but I don't like it.
Too soon to act on it, can we ever be? That all depends on what you're feeling from me. Let me show you all the way. Let me show you all the ways. Let me show you all the ways. Yeah. Let me show you all
We got a new 4-hour coming in. I think we got a new 4-hour, right? Oh no, we got an hour and 49 minutes left. Ugh. I don't know. All right. I'm gonna start closing out map positions. I'm gonna start closing out on the stream here. Solid 3.5 hours. Got some good moves. Hopefully you guys got some entries that we took together. If you didn't, I don't blame you. I don't, not mad at you in that regard. Obviously you want to wait for more confirmations. That may come probably by next week. Maybe it comes over the weekend. I'd like to say that I know, but I don't know. I mean, just considering where the market has been over the last several weekends, based on this dump, based on USDT, based on what's going on with BTC, we're kind of in the limbo land of uncertainty. And I don't want that to be confused with fear. It's just there are lower levels that it could potentially just go to. You could just say, you know, we're going to puke to sub 1K. That's on the table, just based on patterns, based on the current volume, things of that nature. That's on the table. From a liquidity perspective, to me, that doesn't make sense. It only starts to make sense if we continuously start to see more entries on BTC and ETH just aping in. They're creating these immediate liquidity pools that sellers are just like, well, trend is your friend. I'm going to short it. And then there's more momentum as far as shorting and people closing out on their positions. And it just creates this cascade overall. So it's just kind of play by ear. That's the best way of putting it. I will be continuously checking the charts. I'll be inside of the server with you guys, navigating. If we see any crazy moves, you'll hear some feedback from me. If you're new to the stream, the link to the server is inside of the description. Feel free to stop on by. It's not only just myself, but we have a long list of excellent traders that are in there, some that are experienced, some that are even coming up in the sense of learning. And so it's a community where everybody can pull different ideas from one another and to make their own conjecture as far as if their own setup works. That's kind of the community that we have built around it. We do offer VIP status inside of our server. A couple of you guys have messaged me already so far as far as being into the VIP side of our server. I'll be working on that later today, so please don't fret. I'll be working on that. And coupled with that, we also have VIP with the exchanges that we work with. Other than that, thank you guys for being here with me today. I enjoyed the time. It was a good stream for me, good price action. Be profitable going into the remainder of the weekend. Don't be shy to take some profits, right? The market will always provide you with an opportunity. That's one of the bountiful things about crypto. It moves so fast that it will always provide you with an opportunity. So sitting on your hands is not a bad move. You're actually protecting capital. Outside of that, if no one's told you today, Jesus loves you. I love you. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll catch you guys soon. Peace.